it's your podcast sister Lisa coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio. If you like to discover new music, then you've come to the right place. On today's podcast, I'll be interviewing the talented lead singer of Six Gun Sally, Aimee Jane Williams.
Hey, good. You're in Cleveland. I'm in Pittsburgh. We're not that far away.
Isn't that something? We're
really
rivals, with the football, though.
I know.
I worked for the Cleveland Browns for 5 years, so it's a big rivalry.
Yeah, you got to be, though. I have to be a Steelers fan. To be honest, I'm not a huge sports fan anyway, but I have to be because I'm from here, born and raised. So you gotta
be. That's terrific. And are you living in Nashville?
I believe I'm back here now in Pittsburgh because that's where Six Gun Sally is stationed out of, Charleroi. So I have to be here for rehearsals. I am going back to Nashville here in the spring when it gets nice, and I'll be seeing some friends, playing some shows, but it looks like the majority of my time I'm going to be back home in Pittsburgh.
Well, wonderful. This is an exciting time for you and the band with the release of your new album, Stand Up, coming out March 14th, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yep. I'm really excited. Finally, I've been waiting for this album to come out. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Oh, I bet. And we're going to play 3 song snippets today for our listeners and your fans to kind of get a taste of what the album has in store. And so we'll talk a little bit more about the band, and then we'll jump right into a snippet. So the band has been playing for many years, from what I understand, playing that classic Southern rock, 70s classic music. And I got to tell you, Aimee, that's my kind of band. I grew up listening to Leonard Skinner and Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah. And so what's it like, being in an all guys rock band and playing that type of music that still draws huge crowds, despite the fact that that music is from the 70s. What's it like?
Yeah, I love it. I love when people don't know that music, because I always say I'm trying to make the Southern rock cool again for those that don't know. But those that do and those that grew up on that, I'm hoping to get that nostalgic feeling. I'm 42 years old. It's a little bit before my time, but I still grew up on that. I grew up on golden oldies, Motown, all that stuff. Every genre of music. My dad's a musician. So I love this style of music. I love it. It's classic. It's timeless. Like you said, it never gets old. And so the younger generation, I love when we get them on board too. Then they start getting into, some Stevie Nicks. They get into the whole vibe, the whole Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, all that stuff. Oh, with Skinner, everybody knows who Skinner is. Come on, Sweet Home Alabama, everybody knows that one. But it's really nice to be able to share this with the younger generation. I love it. I feel like I play a rock star on stage with them. I play Sally. I wear the hat. I love it. I really get into it.
Oh, I bet. And I know the new album is going to be featuring your originals, but you'll still be performing, like we talked about, that old time rock and roll and Southern rock. Tell me a little bit about the album. How many songs and what's the vibe like on the overall sound of the album?
Yeah, lots of energy on that album. I love it. It's definitely it fits that 70s, I don't know, almost like early 90s to Southern rock, if you will. It's got a lot of energy. The song that I wrote for it, I love. It's cool because I have my own style of writing, and then I have writing for Six Gun, like what we're going for with them, and it's awesome. It's a little different, and I had this song and I had it in my head and I wanted so badly to cut it, but I was like, this isn't really something that I would do like for what I'm doing on my original project. But it worked out. I sang it to Ford Thurston, who's the writer on all those songs on the album. All the originals that you hear came from Ford Thurston, and he was my roommate in Nashville. So I've been hearing him write the songs and everything before I even joined the band. I'm a big fan of him and his writing, so I could connect with the lyrics. It was great. And then whenever I brought my song to him that I had written, it just fit in perfectly. It was perfect addition. So, yeah, like I said, just got a lot of energy. It's definitely got that, like I said, I'm feeling like an early 90s kind of Southern rock swag from it. I don't know. You can make your own. And there's some covers on there. Secondhand News by Fleetwood Mac. It's my favorite cover that I did on there. Ophelia, because we have another singer, Al Granis. He's singing on there too. So Ophelia, Driving My Life Away by Eddie Rabbit. Some different covers on there as well.
Oh, that's great. I'm so excited to hear those songs that you just mentioned. And I know that I've listened to your song, and I just loved it. And the song we're going to play a snippet is "Don't Be Done," and that's the song you were referencing, right? When you were saying that is what you wrote for the album.
Yeah, man, I was ticking my husband off big time, and I was like, I think I might have just overdid it. He married me after I wrote the song, so it's all good. We're still together. He's not done, but yeah, I wrote that from a very passionate place. I'm so glad it made the cut, man.
Oh yeah, and you know what? When you sing it, it's very passionate and heartfelt. And I think all of us ladies have said something like what you wrote, at one point in their life. And I think it would be a great time to just kick off the show since we're talking about your song. We're going to kick off the show with "Don't Be Done," a snippet that was written and performed by Aimee, Jane Williams, and Six Gun Sally. And when we come back, we'll talk more music.
You're so chill. You never sweat anything, and you're still my thrill. You give me reason to sing, but when I'm insecure, I head straight for the door. I get ruthless, but truth is if I lost you, I'd die. Don't be done. Don't leave me lonely tonight. Don't be gone. Give me a chance to do it right. Don't get over me. I know I'm quick to say goodbye. Don't give up on me. 'Cause baby is a lie. Don't be done. Pick up your phone, come back home. You are the one. I'll calm down, turn around. Just please don't be done. Don't be done.
Okay, so Aimee, you just nailed it. It's a keeper, that is for sure. That could stand the test of time as well.
I hope so. I'll see what everybody thinks when it comes out.
I love it. So let's talk about the history of Six Gun Sally. How did the band form in, I believe, Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. Dave Barb is the founder of that. He's one of the drummers. We have a drumming team. We have Dave and Billy. They like to switch off, and somebody's always on percussion too. So he's the founder of this band. I'm new. This is the reason I'm so excited for this album finally to come out, is because I'm the new singer, and all of their prior stuff is with their original singer, who's fantastic. But she had left, and they were looking for a new one. So they had one before me, and then I made the cut. I made the audition, man. So I'm new. This is the first thing I'm coming out. I know that they formed years and years ago, and I don't know exactly what year it was, but they're all friends. Everyone in this band has grown up together. They're all very good friends. I know the keyboard player, Danny, and Dave Barb, the founder, and the drummer. They would talk. They went to high school together, and they're like, one day we're going to open for Leonard Skinner, and they are. So it's a really cool thing to see that and be a part of it. I'm just the Sally, they needed a new Sally. So I just joined them in June of 2024. And this album is real special because now it's coming out. But I don't know. Dave will have to tell you like how it all happened. But I do understand that they were all very good friends. They all go way back.
Yeah, you named some of the band members. You want to make sure we cover all the names
Let's
and
shout out at all of them. All
Yeah.
right. We the drumming team, Dave Barb and Billy Gaitis. And then on bass, we have Stan Brasowski. He is super cool. I always like make eye contact with him because if I miss my mark, he knows. Like, I love Stan. He's great. Jeff Yeckel is the well-dressed guitarist. One of them, he plays rhythm guitar. He does leads. And then Alan Granis is the other guitarist that also sings lead. So we share the stage in that manner. And he's got a lot of stuff on the album that he's doing. Our keyboard player is Dan Rock. Dan Rock and he is the happiest man ever to play keys. He's always freaking smiling. I freaking love him so much. So that's it. Danny, and then Alan, and then the two drummers, Dave and Billy, and then Stan Brasowski bass, and then Jeff Yeckel on guitar. So yeah, and then me. That's 7. Did I get that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, what is it like when you guys arrive at your venue and a big 7-piece band, you
Plus
know,
2
setting up?
Yeah, plus 2 bus drivers and a tour manager and a sound guy, and then another sound tech. So we have a lot of people on the bus. It's great. Like I said, the energy is good. There's no drama. Everybody's a little older than me, so they're past all that in life. So there's no crazy drama. They're always making me laugh. They're like brothers and uncles. Like they're all so freaking cool. Yeah, I have 0 complaints, which is crazy. When it's rock and roll, you're like, oh, where's the drama? And it was nothing like that though. They're just talented, man. They're good. They're talented mofos. I'm telling you, I can say that I'm part of the band now, but I was a fangirl before, I was like, these guys are really talented. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. So happy that you've joined, because you really bring what that Sally singer is all about. I mean, you're a rocker, your voice is a powerhouse. We talked about your songwriting. And I think this would be a great time to play the title song of the album, Stand Up by Six Gun Sally. And when we come back, we'll talk more music.
Well, it's hard, baby. Never easy to take your lumps on the chin. Well, I've made up my mind. Losers never win. Gonna stand up. Put my feet back on the ground. Yeah, I'm gonna stand up. Put my feet back on the ground. Yeah.
Love that song.
Stand up. Yeah.
And I love too the way you hit the stage, and I love the style, the fashion sense, that rocker vibe that you bring. Do you pick out your wardrobe, or how does that all work?
I looked at this like I said, like when I joined, I was playing a role. I'm playing Sally. So their logo had this girl with the cowboy hat kind of holding the gun, the Six Gun Sally logo. So I just I had just gotten a black hat for Christmas from a friend of mine, a very good friend. I was like, I don't wear hats. Like, I'm never going to wear this. And I put it on. I went on stage for my first show, and it was like, you're Sally, you look like it. So I usually wear like the black Sally hat when I'm on stage. And I decided to develop this character to be somewhat like Sandra D from Grease meets like Lainey Wilson a little bit mixed together, with a little,
Yeah.
a little maybe Miranda swag in there. I don't know. Cause it's very country too. But yeah, I love it. I just try to pick out something that catches the light. I really like my black hot pants and my heels, Sally wears heels. So
Yeah. And the hat definitely is that must have, I'm sure. It gets you into that moment. And what is it like when you're performing solo? Is it a different type of style that you're singing than tell us a little bit about your solo career and what you're doing on that front.
Awesome. This is the reason I love Sally so much, because that's my chance to really rock out. Aimee Jane is a little bit more vulnerable. I write a lot of songs that are very personal to me about addiction, getting through things like that. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. I do have 2 songs coming out in September. And the difference between Aimee Jane and Sally, like Aimee Jane is barefoot and Sally wears stilettos, right? Like I play most of my shows barefoot if I can when I'm Aimee Jane. It's just a thing I like to do. But I do like to cover everything as Aimee Jane too, like Aimee Jane Williams. I mean, I'll cover some Six Gun Sally stuff too when I'm doing like solo shows and stuff like that. But the material is a little bit more vulnerable. It's rock first. It doesn't have that Southern rock swag to it as much as it's got more of, I just recorded my last 2 singles in London, actually. So I call it Euro country. It's not really a genre
Wow.
that I'm kind of coming with. And I'll be releasing that stuff in September when we slow down a little bit. So yeah, just a little different. Sally's a little bit more tough, you know, she's more rock and roll, and Aimee Jane's a little bit more vulnerable, you know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to, have our listeners and your fans check out not only Six Gun Sally's streaming information, we're also going to have to make sure we get your information as well.
Yeah.
And so we can see about what you're releasing on a solo basis.
Yeah.
So how did you get started in music?
My dad was a musician. I always wanted to be. I was actually a showgirl. I used to tour around. I eat fire and I danced with snakes. I went to different clubs and did shows, exotic performances. I'm very open about it. But that's what I did. But I always wanted to be a singer, and I just wasn't really that great at it. And but I was great. I was good at songwriting, so I was told. So I spent all my showgirl money going in the studio making all these songs that I'd be writing. And I never sang live though. And my producer was like, you're a great songwriter, but you're not really a great singer. He's like, you should probably just stick to that. But I wanted so badly to do it, so I just kept doing it every day. Around 2013, I got sober. Ish, I got off of, some things. And I felt like God really blessed me. I met a manager and he put a band together for me, and we just kept doing it and practicing. My first show was opening for the Georgia Satellites in 2014. So like, I think God had a lot to do with it. I had to like step away from certain lifestyles and people and places so that I could actually just get better at what I wanted to do, my craft. I was trying to do a lot of things. So I don't know, I just kept doing it every day, and I've been in many bands. I've joined different corporate cover bands and toured with them and cover everything from Aretha Franklin to Nicki Minaj to George Strait. I mean, every genre of music, you name it. And that, I don't know, it just helped me grow as an artist. And when the Six Gun thing fell in my lap, it was just perfect timing. I'm like, this is something I haven't done yet. I haven't been on a tour bus. I haven't toured with an opening band that's actually like together, like they got their crap together. You know what I mean? We got a tour manager that sets everything up. I was doing everything myself in a van, driving everyone around, and it's maddening. So this is great. I paid my dues, and now it's nice to be a part of this.
Yeah, and congratulations on being sober. I thought that is such a hard thing to overcome, and you should be commended. And I'm sure it's a day by day.
Daily, yeah. I got sober from hard drugs in 2013, but it is a struggle with alcohol. It's everywhere and it's free, and I just have to stay in a certain mental space daily. Like you said, it's a daily thing. Nobody's ever got it together. So that's kind of my message with what I share as Aimee Jane. Is I talk about that kind of stuff. It's a little bit more deep. The truth shall set you free. That's my motto, because the more honest we get, there's just better chance of recovering after that.
Yeah, and that healing process does take some time, but on the other side of the healing process, here you are in a band that released a new album featuring your song, as well as you're hitting the stage, and on both accounts, being a solo performer and Six Gun Sally, God has rewarded you.
I know, girl. I know. I can't tell you. I know. It's so cool. It is. That's what I mean. I cherish every show I get to do with Six Gun. I don't know what our time limit is on this band, but I love being able to play that role on that stage. I mean, it's definitely by far the best thing that I've ever been part of when it comes to a band. I've never had a band so tight, played with anyone quite like this. So, yeah,
that's great.
Very grateful.
Yeah. So let's talk about, you had said about the band does some opening act, is an opener for many big name acts, Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet, Marshall Tucker Band. What's that like to get to open for bands like that?
It's great. We opened for Lone Star, and I've always been a big Lone Star fan. That was one of the first opening shows we did. We tour with Artemis Pyle from Leonard Skinner. He's the founding drummer of that band, and he has his own band, and we do a lot of shows with him. He's my favorite. I love him. He's just the sweetest guy. He comes right up front. He's like videotaping our show. Like he goes out before the show and like says hi to everybody and sits, front row while we're playing and we're opening for him. I mean, he's just so great. But yeah, the Outlaws, Henry Paul, he's so cool. I never thought I'd be able to play with Henry Paul, he's from we just opened for, he's got like 3 bands and Blackhawk's one of them, and they have a country hit, Goodbye Says It All. I grew up listening to that. I did not know it was Henry Paul, and now it opened for him. It's just full circle. We just played with him last Saturday. It's so cool. Like it's nice to be able to like I said, you come full circle and you're respected by these awesome musicians that are just legends. I love it. I love it. I still get a little starstruck. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. Well, I want to make sure our listeners and your fans know where to find you on social media. And why don't you go ahead and let us know where they can find you?
Well, definitely Six Gun Sally, and Instagram. We need followers on Instagram. So Six Gun Sally Music. There's one that says Six Gun Sally Band, and like we can't get it down. I don't know why they tried to get it off. But Six Gun Sally Music on Instagram, and then I'm Aimee Jane Williams on everything, TikTok, all that stuff. We're building a TikTok for Six Gun because they don't have one, so making one for them. But we're on Facebook and Instagram, and Aimee Jane Williams too. You can find me on all that stuff. That's my tagline. So,
well, great. I encourage everyone to check out not only Aimee Jane Williams' songs as well as Six Gun Sally. I want to close the show with another hit on your album, Stand Up. And we're going to play a song snippet of Fast Train to close out the show and talk about energy. Talk about that song before we close out the show with it.
Yeah, I love Fast Train, man. Like I said, my boy Ford Thurston wrote that one. It's such an empowering song about getting back, like, I was living the lyrics. It's just like getting back to the old you, but in a new way. I'm getting back on the fast train. Like some of us get in these relationships sometimes where they're our rock, we lean on them, and then we crawl under them like one. We don't get out and do things anymore. We isolate. I mean, it's happened to all of us, whatever it is. And this is about getting out of that and just getting back to you, like I said, in a brand new way. Yeah, I really like it. It's very empowering.
Well, that is a great way to close the show. And thanks again, Aimee, for being on Podcast Sista. And Aimee, like I always say, that's a wrap.